Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And until you learn to regulate your nervous system, that state that you're stuck in will direct how your mind sees your life. That's why one of the first things I do when I work with people is teach them how to regulate their nervous system. And this reprogramming can take weeks or months or years even, depending how deep the programming is. And the path to learning your unconscious patterns and learning your unconscious behaviors can take some time, and that's why there's value in working with somebody that can hold you accountable, somebody that can keep you on the path without deviating or forgetting what you're trying to do. So let's dive into learning to regulate our nervous system. Essentially, there are, could say, 4 different states that our nervous system can be in. We can be in fight or flight. That's a lot of energy. Our nervous system is turned up to 10, always running around, always going from thing to thing. We can be in freeze, which is where our nervous system slows down. We get locked into a static position, and we are waiting for the threat to move on in our environment, like a rabbit that just sits there and freezes. There's the fawn state, which is a little more complicated, I would say, and it is a learned behavior that comes with when you're a kid. You have to behave a certain way if you want food, if you want to get treated with some dignity and respect, depending on your environment. If you are just a kid, you can't go out and get a job and start paying rent. You're going to have to sometimes fawn, which is kind of fall in line and behave in a way that might not be the best for you, but temporarily it helps you survive, it helps you get by. And then there's the regulated state, that's the 4th state. So where you are in a harmonious balance. And it's sort of like a lens to a camera. How much energy is in your nervous system? I mean, depending on what you're doing in your day, could dictate what's going on. And I think of the nervous system kind of like an electrical system, where if we turn up the electricity super high, we get in a more fight or flight. We get like really jacked up. And then if we turn it down super low, that's when we get into freeze. And then fawn is a little more complicated, like I said. I guess it's closer to fawn, and it's kind of more psychological than just your nervous system. It's like the mind and the nervous system, and then the regulated state. And so depending on what you're doing, sometimes you might need to be in fight or flight. Sometimes you might need to be in freeze or whatever you're doing. Like, let's say if I'm building a house and I have to climb up to the roof to work on something that's 20 or 30 feet in the air, my nervous system is going to turn up to a fight or flight state, so that I'm very aware, very conscious of every step, so that I can balance myself, because I'm moving into a dangerous situation. And then when I'm done with that task, whatever it may be, could be work related, could be just walking home in a dangerous neighborhood, whatever it is, once you finish that task, you need to learn to slow your nervous system down so that you can operate and work with a clear mind. Like I was saying until you learn to regulate your nervous system, you can get stuck in that state. Like I was stuck in fight or flight for so long. And fawn. I guess I was also, and probably a freeze. It's probably all three different states, but majority of my state was in fight or flight. And so imagine if you're trying to do some nuanced task, like create a piece of art or have a conversation with somebody, and you're just all jacked up. It's going to be hard for you to see life from their point of view, to tap into that artistic expression that you want to create in the world, or just live as a creative energy in general, rather than being a victim to your fight or flight state that you find yourself in. So we need to regulate that nervous system, and with each different state, there's different approaches that you need to do. So for fight or flight, what I've found is meditation and long, slow breathing is the way that I can regulate when I'm, let's say I just finished a jiu-jitsu class, or I climbed the roof of a building, whatever, like turns me up to a 10. My nervous system's all the way on. In order to come back down to homeostasis, I will find a nice spot that I can sit down, close my eyes, and then I'll elongate my breathing as slow as I can. So it'll start with maybe a 10-second inhale, a little hold, 10-second exhale. Do that for a while, then I'll go to 20 seconds. Inhale, 20 seconds, exhale. 30-second inhale, 30-second exhale. You can get up to about a minute inhale and exhale if I'm really relaxed and really calm. And that can take, 10, 20 minutes. If I have time, I can do more than that. But really just dedicating that time to slowing my breathing down, closing my eyes, finding that stillness to let everything settle, and I can calm down. If I'm in freeze, then I'm going to want to move my body. I'm going to either want to shake. I can shake my body. I will chant. Om. Just chanting Om. I can sing. I can do my, breath of fire? Can do active breath work, listen to some music, anything that gets me to climb my nervous system. Like in freeze, the energy's too low, so I need to turn the electricity up on my system. And that gets me back into a regulated state. And then with fawn, I'd say you have to use nonviolent communication, because you're fawning, you're pretending to be something that you're not for the approval of others. That's what fawn is. And so state your needs and how you feel, and don't project. So whatever it is, whatever your situation is that you're navigating, state how you're feeling, what you need, and don't make it about them. Make it about you. What do you need? What are you feeling? And just, you might need to set some boundaries. You definitely need to express yourself and let it be known that you are being a fake version of yourself for this person. Like, just put it out there. Just tell the truth. And I've done this before with certain people, and they cannot hear me. What I'm saying, it just goes right over their heads anyway. And so I'm just make distance from that person, realize, okay, they're not ready to hear or receive what I need. And so I just need to move on. I can't waste my time with this person because obviously I did my part. It wasn't received well. So just move on. No animosity, no hate towards them. If they are stuck in that narcissistic self energy and they can't see you or hear you, that's fine. That's just what it is. A lot of people are stuck in that state. And they're just doing their best to protect themselves. Like, it's whatever. But you have to at least attempt to communicate and get on the same page as that person to when you're in a fawn state. And then when you're regulated, that's when you're ready to move into that creative mindset. That's when you're ready to pursue whatever excites you, whatever lights you up. Go for that thing. Take a step in that direction. And then express or do that creative act with no expectations. Don't hold on to what you think it should be, how you think it should look. Just simply express yourself, move in that direction for the pure bliss of doing it without needing something in return. And then that's how we fall into these synchronicities. We fall into this magical way of being that can take our life over, and we'll be surprised every day by the amazing things and the people we meet and the places we go. So that's why it is important to regulate your nervous system, and those are the real rudimentary basics of how to do that. And it's on you to realize what state you're in. And you can work with somebody that can read you, and like I can tap into your energy and see where you're at, what you need to do, just by feeling you, feeling into your energetic aura and hearing the story that you tell. So yeah, that is step one on making the unconscious conscious. It just gets deeper and deeper as we peel back the layers of the onion, but that is a great first place to start. Once we can regulate our nervous system and consciously create the state where we can move into those deeper levels and that fuller expression of our authentic self without all the programming and shadows getting in the way of that. So I hope that was insightful. If you want to dive deeper, I've been working with people on this online and it's been going great. So please, if you want to move from an unregulated state to a regulated state, reach out, book a session on my website. Otherwise, I love you. Have a great day.